Well, the Arizona Coyotes put on a show. They beat the Minnesota Wild 5-3 in regulation in Minnesota to make it interesting as they get ready to end the season. Only a couple games left for the Arizona Coyotes. We're going to have to talk about this one as well as preview the next game of the back-to-back Arizona Coyotes and Dallas Stars coming up on Wednesday night tonight. If you're for the time most of you guys are listening to this on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes.
Your Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Robin Leonio, your host of today's show. Carl Pavlik is out today, so it will be just me talking about, two games. We got first last night's game, Arizona Coyotes over the Minnesota Wild, 5-3. Before we get into that, though, I want to thank everyone for making Locked On Coyotes your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. But a 5-3 win over the Minnesota Wild. Arizona kind of playing spoiler a little bit. Minnesota was hoping to get the win to try to maybe see if they can get home ice advantage for their part of the playoffs in the first round. They lost, so now they dropped down to third in the Central, which makes things more interesting. Can the Arizona Coyotes play spoiler again? I'm going to talk about that one in a little bit. But what a game, because Arizona, I went into this, and a lot of you guys listened to this preview I had with Seth Topo of Locked On Wild, and I'm just like, I just don't think the Coyotes have it in them. There's probably a lot on, a lot on their mind. They, lost these couple games, but what I didn't take into effect, like what I was thinking about was the Coyotes were going to lose these games as they were going to lose the games at the beginning of the month. What I didn't take into account was how the Coyotes played against Carolina and against Chicago and against Washington and against St. Louis. They made things interesting in those games, kind of. And then they go ahead and make this game interesting. They stuck around through almost 40 minutes. It was a 1-0 game for this, I would say the first, 35 minutes of this game, and all of a sudden the Coyotes tie it towards the end of the second period. I'm sorry, what? Um that's the first and foremost, but I guess what I'm getting at is the fact that these Arizona Coyotes made a freaking third period out of it. They made it interesting. Uh And I just want to go ahead and shout out some of the players who were contributors for the Arizona Coyotes in this, because because you had 5 different players for the Arizona Coyotes score a goal. That's awesome to hear. 5 goals, 5 different players. So you have Phil Kessel, who got the empty net goal towards the end of the game. That's goal number 399 for him. One more goal with this, not even doesn't have to be this season, but one more goal for Phil Kessel, and he gets 400 for his career. Anton Strawman has a goal for himself as well. Travis Boyd gets one. Travis Boyd has had the game winner. Minnesota native Travis Boyd, actually. He got the game winner off of a deflection from Shane Gostisbehere. That looked like it might have been offside for a moment. They looked at it for a solid 5 minutes, and it looked like Gostisbehere was pushed over the line at just barely the wrong time, and it was offside, but it wasn't, because the refs said goal confirmed and gave that goal to Arizona. Obviously, it was a shot from Shane Gostisbehere, and Travis Boyd did the little tip in. It just went and took a bounce to get by Minnesota's goalie in Marc-Andre Fleury, because that was an interesting, that made things interesting on that one. But anyways, I'm not done. Jack McBain gets his first NHL goal as well. To me, like, who would have thought that one as well? Against, let's just put it this way: former Minnesota prospect Jack McBain. We talked about this on the episode, in the crossover episode with Seth Topo. He asked me about Jack McBain, and I'm like, well, he hasn't been playing like I like his performance. He doesn't get on the score sheet. He's only has one assist, and he's being overshadowed by the other rookie in Nate Smith, who's been doing well as well. But Jack McBain gets his first goal. That's also awesome. Anton Roussel also gets a goal. A well-rounded performance from the Arizona Coyotes. Shane Gostisbehere, I think, is probably the one I want to highlight even more because, again, I mentioned he had an assist of the game-winning goal for Travis Board, and 2 other assists, too. A 3-assist night for Shane Gostisbehere. That's pretty freaking awesome. And I think, is the win entertaining? Yeah. Where's a lot of this, fun to see for the Arizona Coyotes? Absolutely. It's always fun to see the Coyotes just pull something out of their ass and just like, wait, where did this come from? Why did they do this? How did they do this? This team is injured. It's all Roadrunners players, and they go out and pull a win over the Minnesota Wild, who has more than double their amount of points. That tells you something, that just tells you of why I'm talking about this in such a high kind of manner. But now let me kind of take this back. Let me reel this back a little bit, because a lot of you guys are going to tell me, but Robin, what about the, the point standings and the lottery? Okay, let's get into that. Arizona Coyotes now at 53 points on the season, 80 games into the year. 2 points now ahead of the Montreal Canadiens, who are at 51, and also 2 games left. Can the Arizona Coyotes finish last? I mean, theoretically, yes. They got 2 games against the Stars and the Predators. I mean, if they lose both those games, but that's also trying to count that the Montreal Canadiens get 3 points against the New York Rangers and Florida Panthers. I'm sorry, guys, but that's not happening. So, the Arizona Coyotes have effectively sealed their fate to finish 31st overall. I do not believe, there is no way that any other team can finish worse than them. Off of that, of course, than the Canadiens, because the next team on the standings chart belongs to the Seattle Kraken, who are at 58 points. So, Arizona Coyotes will have the second highest odds to get the first overall in the lottery, which, by the way, we didn't even announce the date on this podcast. It's on May 10th. I mentioned it on Twitter, so if you didn't check, it's on @LO_Coyotes. I mentioned it on Twitter. Yeah, it is on May 10th, and this could be interesting. It's, especially because the lottery is taking place in Montreal, also like that. And, well, what are we doing now? Arizona Coyotes, can they get first overall? I mean, yeah, obviously, like, they still can. They don't have the highest chances, but they can still get first overall. We'll have to wait and see. But this win over Minnesota effectively sealed that fate. If they lost this game, the chances still would have been pretty low. Again, because look what I mentioned, the 2 teams that Montreal is going up against. But let's be real. If the Coyotes are sticking or at where they're at now, feeling it's like, okay, might as well just play spoiler for a few people, right? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to tell you guys about HelloFresh. It is an amazing meal kit. You can get farm fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip trials to the grocery store, or trips to the grocery store, and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that is why it's America's #1 meal kit. It is all about that convenience. Once again, I can tell you that, instead of going to a grocery store, you can go ahead and get family friendly or quick and easy recipes delivered straight to your door. HelloFresh chefs really know how to diversify the menu with seasonal recipes like salmon limon and pasta primavera. And again, it is absolutely amazing all the kind of different variety you get from HelloFresh. Someone like me, I can't, even though I live right next to a grocery store, I live such a busy life. I feel like I can't go to the grocery store enough to make fresh meals. So HelloFresh kind of fixes that for me. I can, get stuff delivered to my door and pretty much full on meals, so I don't have to think about it. It's all there for me. And I want you guys to check it out yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/LockedOn16 and use the promo code LockedOn16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that is HelloFresh.com/LockedOn16. Use the promo code LockedOn16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that is at HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into things. Once again, continuing on Locked On Coyotes, I'm Robin Leon, your Carl Pavlik off today. We have a back-to-back. I once again want to thank everyone for making Locked On Coyotes your first listen every day. But let's get to the back-to-back, because they beat the Wild on the road, and now they have the second of a road back-to-back in Dallas to play the Dallas Stars. Now, some of you might have been following the Dallas Stars have been doing last night, because they're also on a back-to-back, but they're on a home back-to-back. They hosted the Vegas Golden Knights last night and beat them in a shootout. Now, here's where can the Coyotes play spoiler play into a factor, because the Stars are. I'm looking at the standings here. They are at 95 points. The Vegas Golden Knights are at 91. We have both 80 games played. Theoretically, the Vegas Golden Knights can still make the playoffs. Now, in order for that not to happen, and for Dallas to secure a spot, they would need to win 1 or 2 of their last games. Here, see where I'm getting at? Do you see where I'm getting at? Because the Coyotes are up next. If the Arizona Coyotes can somehow play spoiler and beat the Dallas Stars and give the Golden Knights life, oh my God, will hell break loose in the National Hockey League, everybody? Like, is it going to happen? Well, we'll have to wait and see, because the Arizona Coyotes are just freaking going on a tear, kind of close to end the year. Again, that 5-3 win over the Wild. What a performance from Karel Vejmelka again. And they're going to do it again, right? Can they do it again? That's the question. This puts me in a tough spot, because, I had to think to myself, do we want to see the Coyotes play spoiler and give the Golden Knights life? I'm not the biggest Golden Knights fan. A lot of you guys know that. I'm always, talking about, it's like, let's kind of see some new blood out there. Let's see what happens if they don't make the playoffs. I am also a fan of chaos, right? Like, if the Coyotes beat the Stars, and look at the Stars next game after that, they have the Ducks. That is a whole other question. Who knows what can happen with that. The Vegas Golden Knights, on the other hand, have the Chicago Blackhawks on their back-to-back. Another back-to-back. They play the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. and then the St. Louis Blues to end off, who are already in the playoffs. We're in for something fun. Now, again, this is in for something fun. Granted, the fact that the Coyotes are able to do what they did against Minnesota, do what they did kind of against St. Louis, where they came out with a surprise and say, hey, no, even though we're a bunch of ragtag Tucson Roadrunners players, we're out to fight. We're out to win games. At least try to win a game. The Coyotes know they're not going to get the highest, finish last in the league, pretty much. So why not just play spoiler? Play spoiler and just rain chaos on the National Hockey League. That's what I want to see happen. Here is where I have to take everybody back into reality, though. Goaltending situation. I mentioned to Seth Topol when those 3 games left. I did not know who the Coyotes were going to play in that first game. They ended up playing Karel Melka. Do they play Karel Melka again tonight? Do they put in Hari Setteri? If they put in Hari Setteri, I'm pretty sure, okay, this might be a little more difficult to play spoiler. Nothing wrong against him, but so far he has not proven to me that he can be the kind of goaltender that can, steal a game, right? Karel Melka has. Has he had bad games? Absolutely. He had several bad games earlier this month. But Karel Melka is also the starting goaltender for the Arizona Coyotes. That's the way it is. On the other side, you're going to see Scott Wedgwood, who just got traded away from Arizona, play in net for the Dallas Stars. Most likely. Wedgwood played pretty well with Arizona when he was, being the tandem to Karel Melka. He pushed Melka to play even better, actually, too, because Wedgwood had some pretty good games himself. I'm not saying it's going to happen, it can happen, but I've seen crazier things, guys. I have seen crazier things. Now, I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to say, do the Coyotes have it in them? It's a back-to-back, and it's a road back-to-back versus the home back-to-back that Dallas is facing. Can they do it? Can they do it? I think I'm going to have to answer that question in a little bit. As I tell you guys a little bit more, first I'm going to tell you guys, today's episode also brought to you by Built Bar. And with that question is I want to ask you is, have you tried the puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They are fluffy. They are marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar. They're a treat. They are covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors, including my absolute favorite yummy cinnamony churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. Oh, so good. All of these are absolutely amazing. These are going to be your absolute new favorite kind of protein bar. Because once again, covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, the puffs are included. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bar with these because they are better. You can save, a couple hundred calories on that easily. Plus, again, much less sugar, much less carbs. You even get some protein out of it. I want you guys to try this out yourself. Go to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off at built.com. So once again, that is the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. All right, so now let's keep going here. Arizona Coyotes and Dallas Stars tonight. Can they play spoiler? I don't have the lines, guys. I'm sorry. I do not have the lines for tonight's game because guess what? I am recording this the night before, and on a night of a back-to-back, both Dallas and Arizona were playing last night or tonight, basically. I'm saying, when I'm recording this, they had played already, and they do not have the next lines available until the day of. But that's not going to stop me from making predictions on this game because, heck, this is the Locked On Coyotes podcast, and I do what I like. Arizona Coyotes are probably going to be 1.5 underdogs going into this game. Total points probably roughly around the 6 to 6.5 mark. Based off guessing those from the trends that we've been seeing from our friends at BetOnline to see, off those. That said, let's see what I can think. What I can muster off of those hypotheticals. And again, you can check out the lines available when it becomes available. I'm going to say Arizona Coyotes are going to rain chaos in the National Hockey League. Because, again, why the frick not? Right? Like I said in the previous segment, they know they're not going to get the highest chance, in the lottery. But they're still going to have a high chance anyways. Second best chance, okay, we'll take it. The worst they can finish is now fourth or fifth, or something like that. So, there's not much of a hurt in playing spoiler tonight. And Karove Milka has played back-to-backs. Let's see. You know what? It's tough. Although I don't think he's going to do it. Hari Seturi in tonight for the Arizona Coyotes. I think he has a game. Yeah, has a pretty good game. He finally gets something behind his back, and we're going to see an all-out freaking fight from the Arizona Coyotes on all fronts here. Because you're going to have some players, again, who want to, as we're approaching the end of the season, as I mentioned before, who want to prove something, right? And I said that at the beginning of the year. Everybody on this roster has something to prove. Some of these players have not gotten to what they're able to prove yet, right? Kyle Capobianco is on the verge of maybe not finding, safety on an NHL team next year. He's got to play extremely well these last two games. Phil Kessel, it's going to prove to some NHL teams that he's not in the twilight of his career, that he can still play. Plus, he's only one goal away from 400 in his career. Why not just go for it, right? Shane Gostisbehere, once again, with his performance on, last night against the Minnesota Wild, might as well. Why not take it? Why not take it? Am I being optimistic today? Absolutely. Am I being, crazily optimistic? Yeah. Why? I'm going to answer the same question, the same thing I said a good solid 3, 4, 5 times already on this show. Because I want chaos to reign on the National Hockey League. Do I want to see it, would I rather have Dallas in the playoffs than Vegas? I mean, yeah. Like I said, I'm the biggest Vegas fan. I mean, I don't like Vegas. But doesn't anyone else want to see the chaos? I know I do. So here's what I'm going to predict. It's going to be under. It's going to be under 6.5. It's going to be at 6 exact. No. You know what? I had to think of that in my head. I had to double think in my head. It's going to be a 3-2 Arizona Coyotes win. That's right. A 3-2 Arizona Coyotes win. Let the chaos rain down on the National Hockey League as we get ready for the end of the season. Let it go down to the final game. Because why not? Because why not? Let's make it interesting, everybody. Those are my picks. But that's going to be it. You know, you can tell me what you think. If you think I'm crazy, tell me. Am I going to accept the fact that you think I'm crazy? Yeah, because I am crazy. I don't deny it. I do not deny it. Because that's all. I just want to see. Because I want to see crazy. We're at this point in the season. Why not? Why not have some fun? Why not? Anyway, that's going to be it for today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. Hope you guys like what you heard. If you did, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you're yet to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcast, including on YouTube. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, on Instagram at LockedOnCoyotes, and on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I am personally at Robin_Leano, spelled right there below if you're watching on YouTube, ROBYN_LEANO. We're going to talk more afterwards, but once again, you can interact with me and DM me, mention me, do what you want on Twitter, and I can answer right back any questions you might have, or on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy, and don't forget to howl on.